Hey guys, it's Alexis, aka The Sloth Reader, and I'm here to do my February review. Now, my February review is not to be confused with my February wrap-up, which will be coming in a few days. Basically, my February review is going to be similar to what a lot of people refer to as their favorites video. I don't feel like saying it's a favorites video for me is very accurate because, you know, I don't really have many different topics to talk about. I don't have a favorite makeup product or a favorite food item or anything like that. My February review is more going to be a look at the non-bookish things that I kind of did or watched or listened to in the month of February. So it's just going to kind of be like a look back at the month for me. So it's not really a favorites video. It's not really accurate to call it that, so I kind of just went with review. So not to be confused with my wrap-up, which will be coming soon. I will start off by just letting you guys know my favorite book that I did read in the month of February as a little teaser to my wrap-up, and that is A Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab. To no one's surprise, this one was my favorite. Let's see if it ends up being my favorite book of the year. Two Schwabs in 2 years. Let's see if she can do it. She can. The next topic I want to talk about is probably in this space I'd usually put music, but music kind of goes along with a topic I'm going to talk about later, so I will shelve it for now and move on. So a look at the movies I watched this month. Believe it or not, I only saw one movie in the month of February, and it was a rewatch for me. I kind of just, like last week, got a huge hunkering to watch this movie, so I just decided to sit down and do it, and that was Star Wars: A New Hope, obviously episode 4. And I'm gonna be honest, this was the first time I've watched a Star Wars film since the unfortunate news about Carrie Fisher passing back in December, and I was not surprised, but, like, when she first appeared on screen, I legitimately bursted into tears, because, like, the Star Wars films were such an icon for me growing up, and so, like, just seeing Carrie Fisher's face on screen and just what an inspiration and hope she was, as well as her character of Leia, just really my heart, it really, like, it hurt so much. Like, I had to pause and, like let the tears out and before I could finish watching the movie. In the Star Wars franchise, A New Hope is probably my favorite of the films, just because it's the one with the most self-contained story. And I like that. Obviously it was supposed to be a solo movie, but also because that's the one that started it all, and so that nostalgia factor is there for me. Empire Strikes Back is probably a very, very close second though, just because I love Empire so much. Just so much of the scenes in Empire are just so good. But yeah, so that was the only film I watched this month, but since it's a classic and a favorite for me, I have no complaints. On to TV shows that I watched in the month of February. I watched a lot of TV, so it's pretty surprising I got as many books read as I did, because I marathoned a ton of TV in the month of February. The first thing I watched in the month of February was I completed the second season and watched all of the third season of Scam, which is the Norwegian teen drama that's pretty popular right now. I honestly, if you guys are interested, I could film an entire review of the first 3 seasons. Again, I watched the first season back in January, and then I completed season 2 and season 3 this month. I will say season 3 is my favorite for 2 reasons. The first is that I was not the biggest fan of season 2. A couple of things in season 2 I did not like. So season 3 is automatically better by comparison because I didn't love season 2. And the third one is that, and the second reason is that for me, season 3 felt like the season with the least amount of petty drama. I felt like a lot of the stuff that's talked about in season 3 are like real issues. Not that like the cheating and the falling in love and stuff isn't like a real issue, but I felt like seasons 1 and 2 had a lot of just really petty drama about, you know, people talking smack about somebody and stuff like that, and like fighting and stuff. And so season 3, you know, covers mental health, but it also covers you know, like coming to terms with who you are and, you know, being comfortable with your friends and all that kind of stuff. So I just loved that season 3, it felt like dealt with like really, you know, really big issues, especially for a lot of teenagers. So that is another reason why I do prefer season 3, but yeah, I mean, to be honest, I didn't love season 2. So season 3 is like miles better in my opinion. The next show I watched in the month of February was Eyewitness. And Eyewitness is basically a USA show, basically about these two teens who are kind of, these two teen boys who are having a budding relationship. They witness a murder one night in the woods, basically in a cabin in the woods. And it's about them not wanting to tell anybody, because if they do, they'll have to admit they were together in this cabin in the woods. So it's about them, like, trying to deal emotionally with what they saw while also, you know, not reporting it. And it's also simultaneously about about the actual crime itself and kind of everything that goes along with it. And one of the main characters is obviously one of the boys' actually foster mother, who is a police officer trying to solve this crime. And I loved it. I loved Eyewitness. Actually, I decided to watch Eyewitness after It's Jane Lindsay, actually, and I will leave her channel down below. She actually said that it was one of her favorite TV shows she watched last month. So I was like, okay, it sounds interesting. And I loved it. I mean, I really loved it. A lot of times when I watch TV shows, I'm always more invested in the, like, relationships and the lives of, like, the younger characters as opposed to, like, the characters in their 30s and 40s. Just because I'm not in my 40s. I'm closer to a teenager than I am to somebody in their 40s. So a lot of times relationships between teens I usually am more invested in. But that wasn't necessarily the case with the show. I was so equally invested in Philip and Lucas's story as I was in, you know, Helen and Gabe's story. And then there's also, like, the crime story, which was interesting and engaging and equally as interesting. So, like, I really never wanted any part of the show to end. Like, I would get really, really into a part and then it would switch to, you know, another character, another story, and I would be like, no, bring me back. I want to know what's happening. And it's super engaging. I'm already thinking about a rewatch, and I hope it gets picked up for season 2. I don't think it's been confirmed yet, but fingers crossed. The next show I watched is a show I have currently watched 5 seasons of, and that is Shameless. Shameless is a story. It was originally adapted from a UK version, but now it's on Starz, I believe, here in the US. And it basically tells the story of this family of 6 called the Gallaghers, and their patriarch is kind of a massive drunk, and it's basically about the oldest daughter trying to hold the family together, and each kid in the family kind of has their own story and their own issues, and then there's, like, a neighbor couple who are so funny, and I love V and Kev so much. Like, their relationship just, like, melts my heart on so many levels. But Shameless is so fun. And I don't think it's a perfect show. I mean, there are some times where they say some really offensive stuff. But the thing about Shameless is that everybody gets insulted in that show. You know, no one's really, I mean, everyone gets an insult in that show. No one's really off limits. And so it's kind of that brand of humor where it's kind of offensive, it's kind of seedy. There are some scenes that are kind of uncomfortable. And it's definitely mature. Definitely mature. So if you're pretty young, please be wary. But I went through 5 seasons all in the month of February. I had seen the first season a long time ago and then decided to rewatch it and then subsequently watched the next 4 seasons. And I really am enjoying it. It makes me laugh. It makes me sad. It makes me, I get secondhand embarrassment. It makes me angry. And yeah, I mean, I think it's a good show. I mean, it's gotten pretty high praise in the 7 seasons it's been on. But I've really, really enjoyed it for the most part. And yeah, if it sounds like something you'd be interested in, check it out. The first 6 seasons are on Netflix. The last TV show I'm going to mention is one that actually started airing this month, but it was an adaptation I was really excited for, and that was the HBO adaptation of Big Little Lies by Leanne Moriarty. So far, only 2 episodes have premiered, so I don't really have an opinion too much on the show as a whole, but I liked what I've seen so far. I think Reese Witherspoon nails the character of Madeline so well. Like, she really kills that character. Like, she's perfect for the role. A lot of the choices that they've made in terms of like the editing and cinematography are very interesting to me, and I will be interested to see kind of how, like, having read the book, you know, I get the choices, but I do see how it's kind of interesting of a choice. But I think it's really promising so far. I mean, it's pretty true to the story. It kind of has that, you know, upbeat, funny tone to it that I really liked about the book, but I'm really excited to see where HBO takes it and how true to the story it stays. The last section I'm going to mention for this video is basically just me. What did I do in the month of February? And I basically have 2 events that I want to talk about. The first one is musical related, and that is I got to see one of my all-time favorite artists live in concert in New Orleans, and that was Billy Joel. I'm wearing my Billy Joel t-shirt. Don't know if you can really see it, but I have been a huge fan of Billy Joel for a very, very long time. And so getting to see him live and getting to hear him play, he played my favorite Billy Joel song, which is one of my all-time favorite songs, period, which is Vienna, and getting to hear it live was amazing, and Billy Joel is an amazing performer. Seeing it in New Orleans, he played a lot of really classical New Orleans songs, When the Saints Go Marching In, Proud Mary, House of the Rising Sun, which is also one of my favorite songs. And so he just really played to the crowd, and he had a backup singer who was also a sax player, a tambourine player, and I think she played drums too, who was crazy talented. And it was just a really, really phenomenal show, and I loved it, and I'm so, so glad I got to see one of my favorite artists live. I'm slowly but surely ticking off seeing all of my favorite artists of the ones who are still alive. So I'm really, really excited I got to see that this month. The next event I want to talk about is that this month I actually got to go to the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute, which is a museum all about the civil rights movement, obviously from the 60s and earlier, and it kind of is concentrically about the civil rights movement in Birmingham and the South, as well as nationwide. I've lived in Birmingham for 4 years, and I've never been, which kind of sucks and is stupid, and I don't know why I never went, but I'm glad if I had to go anytime, I chose to go this month, which of course this is Black History Month, so I felt that it was such an appropriate time to go, and it's a beautiful, beautiful museum. If I can find pictures, I'll put them somewhere. I didn't take any, unfortunately, but a lot of the elements of the museum are gorgeous. They have whole parts of the museum where they've built things. Like, there's a whole, like, cutout of a bus where they have a statue of Rosa Parks sitting on the bench, the bus bench. They have a whole part where they cut out, like, it's like cut into the wall, but not, of a church with pews in it, which is meant to signify the importance of faith in the Black community at the time in Birmingham. And they have parts where they talk about, there's one where they, like, it's an entire barber shop that they've, like, recreated, which was really, really cool, and I mean, it's a very emotional museum. Some of the other patrons who were there at the time were crying, just, you know, watching some of the video and hearing some of the audio and reading some of the letters and stuff that pertain to that time period is very heartbreaking and emotional. But it's a beautiful museum. It's won a bunch of awards, and people come from all over to come visit it. So honestly, if you're ever in the Birmingham area and you're looking for something to do, I highly, 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 highly recommend checking out the Civil Rights Institute. Alright guys, so that is it for my February review. Basically, what I spent all of February doing. February was an okay month. I mean, it was fine. Pretty much anytime I wasn't reading, watching TV, or, you know, anything else, I was working, so that's less than exciting, but it means I get to go and see concerts, so that's nice. But if you guys did anything exciting in the month of January, or if you want to talk to me about any of the things I listed in this video, just go ahead and leave it down below, and I'll see you guys soon with another video. Bye!